Hey, how you doing, everybody? As always, this is JD Lewis with Untamed Conversations. Tonight I have a very interesting guest. We know each other pretty well. We used to actually maybe live together and, kind of hang out a little bit. It's
Just a
my
little bit.
ex-wife.
Hi, my name is Stacey. Yes, unfortunately, I am JD's ex-wife, and yes, we share a lovely 9-year-old child together. Just sitting here chilling with his new wife while she's getting an IV drip.
Yep.
Yeah, we've known each other for how long now, Stace? Because Hannah's going to be 10 in December.
Since 2010, so about 14 years.
Yeah, we've known each other quite a long time. Like Stacey said, we were married at one point.
Actually, you said that.
There you go. We actually we're in a very good place now. We're all very good friends. She was at our wedding. Her boyfriend Josh, he was at our wedding. Tara and her, very good friends. We're very close. And I wanted to have Stacey on to kind of talk about what she does. What's going on now, and we're gonna start from there. So, Stace, you were if I'm not mistaken, I forget the year, but you were a graduate from St. Vincent's, correct?
Yeah, in 2013, right? Because Hanny was born in 2014.
Yeah, yep. So
No, 2012.
no, 2012.
Yeah,
She was born in
2012.
So you were
No. What has it been? Maybe,
2014. Hannah was born.
Well, duh, I know that. I'm just trying to figure out when I
But yeah, you
graduated. I think I graduated in
2 years prior.
2012. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Time flies.
So yeah, you've been a registered nurse for quite some time. I mean, what? That's 11, 12
Almost
years
12
now.
years. Yeah. Wow.
And you're a registered nurse. You're a mom of 2.
Mom of 2. Yeah.
Yes, she has a son. He is
Almost 2 in
almost
July.
2. Yeah. So let everybody out there know. Explain to everybody how it is being a full-time nurse and full-time mom. I mean, let us hear it.
Oh, it's hectic. Yeah. Hectic. I have to go to work all day and hear people complain, and I have to help people, and then I have to go home and kind of do the same thing, take care of the kids. I got to take care of my patients. So pretty much 24/7, I'm, helping people out and, keeping them alive.
So it's funny you say that. So obviously nursing is an interesting career. I have a lot of friends that are nurses. And
Happy Nurses Week to all the nurses
Yes.
out there this week.
Absolutely. Happy Nurses Week. And if you're married or dating a nurse or this and that, make sure you get them some gifts. Take them out for dinner. Wine and dine them.
I know.
They
Where's my
deserve
gift? Where's my gift?
it. Josh, if you hear this, your lovely woman is looking for a gift, so make sure you help her out. So what I wanted to start with is, you've been a nurse for quite some time. Obviously, you worked at Yale. Your job was at it was a Jewish home in New Haven, correct?
Yep. A long-term care facility. Yep.
That was
my-
a friend of my family. Stacey interviewed, and she got a great job.
Yep.
Right
Nursing
away
supervisor.
Yep.
As a new grad.
as her first job. So that was pretty impressive. A question for you is, tell me the difference between what you did then, and then once COVID hit, and now. How did nursing change? Because I see a lot of, I know it's social media, but Instagram posts, Facebook posts about nurses that were nurses pre-COVID and then after COVID and what they went through. And there's a lot of people out there right now that aren't nurses anymore because of COVID. So
You're right.
please,
Yeah, you're right.
man,
Yeah, a lot of nurses.
let us
got
know.
burnt out. I was actually really lucky. I left the hospital, I think in 2019, right before COVID hit. COVID was a thing in 2019. It was known as the coronavirus. Patients were isolated, but it wasn't how it was in 2020, 2021, and a lot of nurses got really burnt out. I was lucky enough to really not be in the hospital, but I was working full-time as a home care nurse. It was a little bit more difficult because I would walk into people's houses. I didn't have protection. All I had was my N95. Didn't know if patients had COVID or not. Whereas in the hospital, they got to test people right away. I didn't have that luxury of doing that in home care, so I would go into people's houses with the unknown. I could walk out with COVID and give it to my kids. Well, my daughter at the time, I didn't have the baby at the time, but, I could come home and I could give it to my daughter. And, me and JD, we split custody of Hanny, so I could also be giving it to Tara and JD on top of it, and, my boyfriend as well.
Who, by the way, we all did have COVID. I had it twice. Stacey had it, I believe, twice.
I didn't have it for a long time. I didn't get it for a long time. I didn't get it until I was pregnant with Christian.
That's right. And then her boyfriend Josh did have it.
He had it a couple times too. Yeah, he had it right in the beginning too. He came back from Japan.
Yeah, and I know Stacey knows that I think Tara, myself, and Hannah had the OG. I remember that. The three of us had it.
The three of you did, yeah.
Before anybody knew what the hell was going on.
And Hanny had it, and she was with me. I was with her at the doctor's office at the urgent care, and I still didn't get it.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Hannah had it, and then I was feeling kind of weird, and I went to the walk-in in Shelton, which great walk-in, by the way. They know me very well. I've gone there for many years. So, Stace, working in the hospital, I know you said you left before COVID. You have friends that are nurses. You have many friends that are nurses. I mean, what have you heard story-wise? Like, what they went through during COVID?
PTSD. Awful. All they saw was people on ventilators, especially on my MICU nurses. They would be ventilated. They would die. Like, they saw so many deaths.
So I have a question about that. And again, I'm not in the medical field. I've done my fair share of medication and performance enhancement drugs for the gym.
And multiple ER visits.
Everybody who's listening knows I used to be addicted to the emergency room just as much as it was the gym. But let me ask you a question, because I hear from nurses now that I'm friends with, whether they be older, younger, the ventilator issue, was that just because nobody knew what to do at first?
Exactly, yeah.
Because
they had no idea.
They found out that eventually, or after a certain amount of time, they realized that the ventilator wasn't the best option. Right?
You're right, yep.
They realized that they can give certain medications, steroids, this and that, to help you, as opposed to, obviously in the beginning, just throw... And I don't mean this in a bad way, no disrespect to anybody in the medical field, but nobody knew what it was at first.
No, of course not. I mean, it was all new.
So the first thing they did was, you come in,
of course, if you're in respiratory distress,
your O2 stats are 45.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
They throw you on a respirator,
yeah, exactly.
But then a ventilator.
A ventilator, yep.
And then they realized that that wasn't the best course of option.
Correct. Yep.
Or action. I mean, there was anybody listening. I know I have friends on the left side, friends on the right side. I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a shit about your political views, and this is Untamed Conversations. J.D. Lewis can say whatever the hell he wants, so I'm gonna say it. There were people that believed in COVID. There were people that believed it was fake. I mean, my mother had COVID. She has one lung. I know it was real because we could have lost my mother. So I mean, there's and everybody out there that the conspiracy theorists that think it wasn't real, this and that. I mean, I have somebody on right now that lived through COVID. She dealt with people that had COVID. She watched people die.
I saw the aftermath of what happened to people with COVID. I was a home care nurse at the time. Well,
so
still am. But
is long COVID a thing? Because I hear about this. So
yeah,
explain to us what that is.
I've had patients have no heart disease, end up with heart disease. I've had patients that couldn't walk after COVID, that were walking independently with no devices, and then now confined to a wheelchair. I've had patients that are bedbound, patients who are on G-tubes, patients who aren't even alert and oriented anymore because of COVID. It was a serious thing. I mean, a lot of these patients probably did have a lot of comorbidities like diabetes, asthma, people who are like a little bit healthier. Obviously it was kind of more of like a common cold, but the people who had certain heart disease, diabetes, any respiratory diagnosis, yeah, they definitely were affected a lot more, and especially the people who were not vaccinated. I've had patients tell me that, and I'm not trying to go all into this whole vax and non-vax. That's people's personal preference. I don't judge. It's what you want to do with your life. But a lot of people have died for not being vaccinated, and a lot of people were not believers in being vaccinated. I mean, do I personally believe in having 5 vaccines, no. I mean, I had my 2, and that's
Listen,
that.
I did-
I refused to get it when I was
Yep.
pregnant. Like I said, everyone has their own beliefs,
Everybody
and
has their own preferences.
I
mean,
don't judge.
I asked your opinion and Tara's when we did it. Obviously, Tara is an occupational therapist, a little different than being a nurse, but you said, you know what, you're gonna be fine. Do the vaccine. I mean, I did the Johnson & Johnson, which was 1 shot, which, believe it or not, everybody listening, yeah, it turned out to be the best one. So cool. Of course, JD did the best one. My question to you, Stace, and I know you said, you know, you don't want to get into it, and I'm not asking you to. In the last year, 2 years, 3 years, there's been a lot of people our age or younger that have died from random heart diseases, random heart attacks, and a lot of people blame the vaccine. I mean, is that...
I honestly, I cannot speak on that. I'm not
And that's why I was asking. I mean,
a pharmacist. I'm not a
know
scientist.
any...
I don't know the ins and outs of the vaccine.
My thinking is, and
I just take care of people.
Yeah.
I don't have any of the theory behind it. I couldn't tell you.
And I agree, and I appreciate that response, because I feel like a lot of people that I ask that question to, they'll come up with a random answer that means nothing. So anyways, let's jump on to the next topic. I mean, so Stace, let everybody know out there first, before we get into some other things, what made you want to become a nurse? I mean, what out there, you know, were you looking at and said, you know what, I want to take care of people, I want to help people out? Because to me, you're kind of mean, kind of scary, but other people seem to like you very much.
Only to you.
Go ahead. What made you want to become a nurse?
So actually, I've been wanting to be a nurse since I was 7, 8 years old.
Quite old now, so yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. So I actually really wanted to become a nurse because my grandma was really sick. She had really bad diabetes, not controlled diabetes. She actually had to get her leg amputated. My grandfather was actually her main caregiver, and she would come to my house sometimes because my grandfather needed a break. And my mom and I would actually be the ones to help take care of her. You know, we'd have to change her diaper.
So this was your mom's mother, correct?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I met your dad's mother. I didn't meet your mom's mother.
You know,
Okay.
she was already passed away
Yep.
by then. And she just was the greatest thing in my life. I loved her so much. She spoiled me rotten. She was great, and I'm actually tearing up talking about this because she's the reason why I became a nurse. Yep, she was it. And then I actually read a lot of books when I was little. I was a big reader. I used to actually read a lot of books about kids with cancer, so I really wanted to become a pediatric oncology nurse. Clearly, I can't do that now. I would never be able to do it.
That's intense. I mean, for you to, what you dealt with, I mean, just anybody who knows me, by the way, you know, my grandmother, she went through a certain situation.
I was there.
Stacy was there. We were together. It was a rough time. I mean, so listening to what she said and what I'm saying, I mean, it's my grandmother had Alzheimer's, dementia, and there's just not funny, but there's a picture actually that posted on my Facebook memory the other day, and it was us in the hospital.
Yep. No, she was in hospice, I think, then.
Yeah, in Brantford,
Yep.
down near the water, which
Yep.
a lot of people go to that
Yep.
place. It's I prefer to never, you know, not in a bad way, but I still think that picture should have never been taken, but it is what it is.
She was smiling.
You know, yes, it was a good picture, but just listening to what Stacy says about how she, you know, how she takes care of people, and
I try to treat them like they're my grandparent, like they're my grandma, they're my grandpa.
How do you separate that though? Because I know that obviously certain people, let's say you become closer with
Very
others.
close, yep.
How do you separate that? I mean, how do you? And I don't.
I don't.
So how do I?
I don't separate it because it makes me the nurse that I am today. It makes me still empathetic.
Yes, but aren't you? And the reason I'm asking is because I've seen this, and I've talked to other people, and I listen. Aren't you technically? And I'm not saying this in a bad way. Aren't you technically not supposed to become empathetic and as close?
Definitely not. You definitely are. That's
So
what
you
makes
care.
that's what makes you a good nurse.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what families love. That's what, you know, their kids.
Yeah.
If it's their parent, if it's their sibling, if it's whoever is involved, if they see you caring and taking care of their parent or whoever, their family member, they are very appreciative. I take care of a lot of patients
Yeah.
that are in palliative care, in home care.
Do you have patients that don't have family? Like when you go to the
All
home
the
care,
time.
you're
All the
there-
time.
you're
I'm their
there first?
family. Yeah. I actually have a patient that passed away, and she was actually never married to him, but they were together for a really long time. He was a veteran, and she thought of me as family. She texts me all the time. She always wants me to come visit her. I try to stay in contact with her as best as I can. Unfortunately, I'm kind of busy a
Well,
little
you
bit,
have
but I try.
You have a lot going on. I mean, let me ask you this, because I mean, I want to get to a couple other things, obviously, in your life and what you're doing now. How do you feel about, and a lot of people ask about it, and you see it like and I'm not, regardless, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but the Instagram and the Facebook nurses that will, and you know where I'm going with this, will post a video of themselves and say, oh, just lost a patient, and like show themselves crying on Instagram. And at the same time, I mean, it's like, I'm just asking, if that happened to you, you were the patient and they passed away,
Yeah.
you're not going to videotape
No,
yourself crying.
that's for clout.
Exactly. Okay. And that's what I'm asking, because I feel like a lot of people do that, where it's like, just lost a patient, and
I mean, sometimes, I'll post on Facebook,
Yeah.
like, how sometimes I, like, love my patients, or, if somebody, like, touches my heart, but you'll never see me, like, posting a TikTok or a reel or anything with my patient. Like, that's a big HIPAA violation to me, too, and it's just, I just think that that's just for clout.
clout. Yeah, and anybody that doesn't know what clout means, it's basically she's saying that's what people do for attention. I watch TikTok sometimes. Yeah, I said it, TikTok, because I'm old. I watch TikTok videos all the time, and they're very funny. But Stace, we're going to get to a couple other things of kind of where you're at now, but from where you started to where you are now, I mean, is there anything, let's say, and watch how you say this, is there anything you regret from where you started to where you are now? Or is there anything you would have done differently when it comes to
Oh, yeah,
your
100%.
career? And so explain
Yeah.
to everybody listening.
I definitely would have, like, I didn't graduate nursing school until I was about 27.
Okay.
A lot of it had to do with
You got a lot of other things
school.
going on.
No, I was working full time and I was going to school.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people.
I
go to school,
I
not
honestly
worry about
just
working. You
wish,
had to work.
yeah, I just wish that I graduated sooner. I've always known I wanted to be a nurse. It just took me a little bit while because I was going to community college and then transferring credits, whatever. I'm not going to go down all that road, but
Yeah, but
I just wish that I finished earlier. I really wanted to become a nurse anesthetist. I really wish that I was able to follow through with that,
anybody out
but
there that
everything
means-
happens for a reason.
anesthesiologist, by the way.
Yeah, it's a nurse that does puts people to sleep in surgery.
Yeah,
There's obviously anesthesiologist and then a nurse anesthetist.
But you also worked a lot harder, I would say, than some. Because and again, anybody that's listening, because I know I have a lot of nurse friends that listen. Not saying you didn't do as much, but you didn't. Your parents are great. I mean, they help you when they can. But at the same time, you worked your way through college.
I did,
It
yep.
wasn't hey, everything's paid for.
Yep, nope.
You can just do
My
what you
parents didn't
want.
pay for my college.
And there's a lot of people out there that, like you look at and I'll bring up Tara, 'cause she's right here with the IV on her arm. You guys both worked hard to get your degrees. You both had to pay your own way. I know that for a fact, because Tara and I are still paying for her student loans. Kill me. Let me ask you, I mean, you started your own company, which is very cool. I mean, because there's a lot of people out there that talk the big game, like they want to do it, they're gonna do it. What made you finally, decide, what, fuck it, we're doing it? I mean, I'm going all in, and if I fail, I don't care. What made you want to, open your own company? By the way, it is called Get Your Drip On. It is a mobile IV company, which, by the way, should have been me tonight, but I chose not to because I'm scared of needles.
You're a pussy.
It is called Untamed Conversation, so she can say whatever she'd like. Stace, hit us. Let everybody know what you do, and everybody out there that listens to my podcast, you can get a hold of me. I'll also let you know all her credentials at the end and her contacts, but what made you want to, jump into your own business? Let's go. Let's hear it.
So my business is called Get Your Drip On. I do mobile IV vitamin therapy. I go to people's houses, so it's in the comfort of your own home. If you're sick, hungover, and you can't get out of bed, call me up. I'll be right there with my IV, and I'll cure you right up. You have the Myers cocktail, which is the hangover cure, aka banana bag. I have a bunch of other vitamins. So what I do is I pretty much go to your house. I have you fill out a consent form. I get your medical history. I check your vitals. I put an IV in you. I hang some fluids. I put some vitamins in the fluid bag. I have an inner beauty one. I have a get up and go one, which is actually the one that Tara is doing right now. So it helps burn fat. It boosts your metabolism. It restores your energy. And it improves your overall performance. I have a B-lean one, which is also for weight loss. I have an immunity one, which is if you're sick or you feel like you're getting sick, it can prevent you from getting worse, or it will help you from not getting sick at all. The Myers cocktail is my elite IV. It has a multi-purpose. It helps with stress. It helps with chronic headaches, fibromyalgia, hangovers, energy boost if you have chronic fatigue, stuff like that. And then also I have a glutathione, which is a liver detox. So glutathione will help. It's my most powerful antioxidant. It detoxes your liver. It makes your skin beautiful. One of my clients had it, and her mom came over that night, and they asked if she had a facial. It's great.
Skin health. Shit. I can use that. I mean, I've had eczema and shit for 20 years. I mean, I get hives every other day. And again, I should have jumped on Stacey's IV tonight, but
Again, you're a pussy.
I am not. I just was not ready for a needle from someone who, by the way,
Coming from the person that I used to practice putting IVs on when I was in nursing school.
yeah, well,
Didn't have any medications to give you. I would just take a needle and I would stick it in your vein to make sure that I was doing it good.
well, we're in another place right now, and it's been 10 plus years, and I think at some point in your life you wanted to kill me. So let's not kid ourselves.
Facts.
Um,
Still to this day.
By the way, she is completely bullshitting because between her, myself, Tara, and Josh, I mean, we have the best thing going ever. But what I want to do real quick is, while we're talking, I want to put Tara on the mic and ask her how she feels with getting her IV right now. I mean, what has it done to you, Tara? I mean, for the record, Tara has been going through a lot lately where she is, very fatigued, very tired. She's very run down, which her wonderful husband helps cook and clean all the time because she's run down, but that's not the point. Let's ask her how she's doing. Tara, everybody knows who you are. Let's jump in here and see what's going on.
Yeah, so lately I've been pretty tired. I've been working a lot. We've had a lot of after school activities for Hannah. She's in softball. She had her last minute concert.
Yeah,
That we
fun.
find out about the night before.
Yep, that she decided to tell us, the night before. So we've been running around a lot. Haven't been getting home till really late. So I've been really exhausted and working at the school and then working at the sensory clinic. So I've just been exhausted. And Stacey said that I have this Get Up and Go IV. And I said, okay, let me try it. And she said it's going to give you a bit more energy.
Help boost your metabolism.
Make you feel better. We can do it tonight. And then when you wake up in the morning,
You're going to feel great.
I'll feel great. I was like, perfect. If JD doesn't want to do it, if he doesn't think he can handle getting the IV today, then sure, let me do it. Because that would be really great if I started feeling not so tired and feeling a little bit better. And let me tell you, it's so convenient. It's so easy. She came in. I'm sitting on the living room couch. I just have a pillow on my arm and my lap. I've got the IV going, and I'm just sitting here listening to them talk. You could get it while you're watching TV. You could I don't know, play on your phone, play a game. Just it's really simple. You could just do it in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go out to somebody's business to do it. She comes to you and she brings everything to you. So I highly recommend it.
And
I feel great.
And everything is clean technique, sterile. Everything
She
is.
wears gloves.
Obviously, that was JD's biggest thing when Stacey came. He said, "You wear gloves?" Yes, of course she wears gloves.
For the record, anybody that wears gloves, I trust them. So she gets a 10 out of 10 in my book.
And I just want to point out that the one that Tara got, it's a B complex vitamin, so it's also has amino blend. All my IV drips are all vitamins, all like water soluble vitamins and minerals that we either have in our body, or what happens is as when we get older, our body depletes these vitamins and minerals. So I'm just kind of replenishing them back into your body. There's really no side effects to it. And like I said, it's just all vitamins that you can get. There's all vitamins that you can get that you have naturally in your body already that, you kind of just either excrete through your kidneys or, we kind of deplete as we get older. I also have, add-on vitamins that you can also get to it as well. Like I was talking about, like the glutathione, B12. I do IV push of those, and you can get that done before I give you the vitamin drip.
How about like a gym IV? Have you jumped into? I know you said energy, but
Yeah, so that's
like a pre-workout or something like that.
Not really. I mean, I have a recovery and performance one, so it helps like for muscle fatigue.
Okay.
It helps for muscle growth. It helps for muscle.
Is there one out there yet that has it? Like, obviously we all take pre-workouts.
No.
Powder.
I mean, the it gives you energy, so
that's pretty much
it doesn't have all that crap in a pre-workout.
Oh, the
A
artificial fillers.
pre-workout has so many things that are so bad for you. Red Bulls, so bad for you.
Well, the caffeine. So the caffeine.
Monsters
content,
are so bad for you. The caffeine is so bad for you. It's so bad for your heart. This is all natural vitamins and minerals that you are supposed to have in your body anyway.
And everybody listening, listen to what she's saying, because I know for a fact, and I am actually the prime example. I've taken pre-workout since I was 17. I mean, I get heart palpitations. I get a lot of shit, and I try to take all natural stuff now. I mean, it's something where I think that you need to just be careful. I mean, as you age. And if you hear anything right now, it's actually Stacey taking the IV out of Tara's arm. We're going to continue, but she needs to get that out first because the bag is empty. I mean, I plan on doing one as well because I think that I should have done it tonight.
And you can also use your Flex spending account from your HSA.
Yes, if you have an HSA,
You
whether
can
it be...
put it on your Apple Pay or whatever, and you can use it towards an IV.
So let's say you guys think you can't really afford it, you can't take it out of your... A lot of people that think they can't afford it because they don't have the cash, which is fine, I get it. Listen, and Stacey has said it too. I mean, not everybody can afford X amount every IV, and we get that, we understand that, everybody understands that. I mean...
And I'm also going to start doing something with PayPal.
Can you... How about...
So if you do something with PayPal, what they do is you can do like the 4 installments or whatever, stuff like that. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm hopefully going to start doing like monthly subscriptions where you just pay a monthly amount and you can get any IV that you want.
What I really want to talk about, I think you should start doing this because if you're listening, I would love for you to sponsor me. You should start doing Affirm. I mean, that's the 4 or 5 payments. You do X amount up front.
Yeah. And they have a PayPal one, the same thing.
They do. And whether it be PayPal, Affirm, I mean, if you think, in this day and age, if you think you can't afford to take care of your health.
Take care of your health and wellness when you can go and spend $200 a night at a bar or $300 a week on alcohol or cigarettes.
First of all,
or pre-workouts,
I didn't realize people still smoke cigarettes
or
nowadays,
anything but you can't invest in your health and your wellness and get things into you which are natural and not bad for you.
Let me ask you a question, Stace. I mean, this is, I think, something that I'm sure everybody out there would like to know. I mean, first off, What made you change your career path from what you did to what you're doing now? From being a bedside nurse to being a home care nurse, what made you want to change?
Hannah.
That? Okay.
Hannah made me want to change, to be honest with you.
More?
I wanted to not work every other weekend. I was sick of working every other holiday. I was a float nurse. I worked on 30 different floors, and I would get the worst patients. I got burnt out. Hanny started kindergarten,
Yeah.
so I wanted to be able to drop her off. But yeah, no, I was just I got burnt out being in the hospital. I wanted something that was flexible.
No,
You know, if Hanny's sick, you know,
Yeah.
I can go and pick her up and, you know, drop her off somewhere and go back to work. I was working 12-and-a-half-hour shifts at Yale. Granted, I was only working 3 days a week, but it was always
still.
every other weekend.
Yep.
Holidays, every other holidays.
Now, do you think this is something that a lot of nurses deal with now?
What do you mean?
I mean, meaning like schedule and becoming burnt out and why they change.
Oh,
because I have a few.
100%. Nurses are 100% burnt out. We're overworked.
We're nurses forever, and they change careers.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I want to change careers every day sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's why I started the IV vitamin drip. I wanted to do something that I really believed in. I wanted to do something that was my own, something that would help people in a good way. You know, I'm a nurse, but these medications that people are getting, you know, they're not really, they're helpful, but they also have like effects on other parts of your body, like your kidneys, your heart. You know, you have a lot of interactions between if you're on multiple medications. I still believe that you have to, you know, certain things you need to take these medications for, but I'm starting to like the holistic approach a little bit better.
Okay.
I like the IV stuff because you get the vitamins, 90% of it absorbs into your body, whereas when you take it orally, it's only 40 to 50% because
Orally, doesn't it go right through your liver?
it excretes through your stomach, your kidneys, and your liver, whatever. It has to go through vital organs in your body, whereas the IV therapy is instant results. You get more absorption of it than you do the oral vitamins, and it's like instant gratification. You know, everyone nowadays, you know, everyone wants instant gratification, and that's what the IV therapy does for you, whereas oral, it takes a while to get into you.
I feel like the problem is, and you just explained it because I've gone through it, obviously, I have one very decent kidney and one that's not so decent. I had very...
Your kidneys are fine now. You had
hydronephrosis
when you were a baby, but you don't have that anymore.
Yeah, but one's smaller than the other one, from what I'm told.
Your kidney function's fine. I have seen multiple blood works from you.
My creatinine levels, which I sent you a couple weeks ago, are a little high, but that's fine. They're 1.57, which they should be like 1.2, but not a big deal. My question is, I was listening to what you said. You know, you get a lot of people that are sick. They take heart medication, which fucks up your kidneys. You take kidney medication, which fucks up your liver. You take this medication, it just... Why? And I'm just spitballing here and throwing something at you, and if you don't really have necessarily a good answer, you don't need to have one. Why can't we just figure out how to take care of this, and this with maybe, let's say, 1 or 2 medications as opposed to... And again, you've been a nurse for a long
lifestyle
time.
changes.
There you
That's
go.
the big thing is lifestyle changes. A lot of people don't want to change their lifestyle. A lot of people want to eat like shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to work out. Don't even want to exercise. Even if you just go walking for 20, 30 minutes a day, you're still getting cardiovascular. A lot of people don't want to watch their sodium. A lot of people don't want to watch their carb intake. A lot of people... There's many things. People are pre-diabetic. All they have to do is change their diet, and they choose not to, and then they end up on insulin or metformin, which metformin is not good for your kidneys.
Yeah. And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, obviously, when we first met, I was in really good shape, and then I ended up gaining weight. I probably gained, since we met, 60 pounds. And I lost probably 35, 40 pounds almost now. I'm in almost the best shape I've been in a long time. But you're right, there was a time where I was just looking for certain supplements, certain this, certain that, to really make it happen for me without changing that lifestyle. And I think that you nailed it. There's a lot of people out there that want instant gratification. Like, you know what, I'm going to stick a needle in my ass and take steroids and I want to be jacked. And listen, at the end of the day, and I mean this and I want everybody to hear this because I have friends that do this, just because you do steroids doesn't mean you're going to be jacked. If you don't put in the work,
And
you're not going to be where you want to be. But there's also, I follow quite a lot of bodybuilders, and I know 2 or 3 of them personally that have passed away at 30, 31 years old.
heart disease.
Heart disease, liver failure, kidney failure. A buddy of mine that, again, not going to mention names, but 27 years old. Both his kidneys failed.
Erectile dysfunction,
Yes, and he couldn't even have a transplant. He died.
which amino blends help with that.
Here's a big one for you, Stacey. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I mean, like, what is your goal?
I mean, I obviously still see myself as a nurse.
Yep.
I'm like really hoping that my business really takes off so that I can focus all my time and effort into this, hire more people to help me out. You know, I want to be like known all over Connecticut. Obviously, I can't go out of Connecticut. You need to have different licenses to be outside of Connecticut, which you could easily get. But I just want my business to grow. I want this to be a well-known company. I want everyone to understand what it is. A lot of people don't really understand what IV vitamin therapy is right now. It's a new and upcoming thing. You know, it's just really well known in Vegas. It's well known in Cali. It's well known in Miami. It's not well known in Connecticut.
Of course, it's well known in Vegas. Shit.
Yeah, it's not well known in Connecticut. I want people to, you know, invest in their health and their wellness. I want this to be my primary source where I can just hire people to do my work for me and I can just chill and go on vacation and hang out with my kids and not work my ass off and work, you know, 60 hours a week every week that I do. Because mind you, I work multiple jobs. I'm not, you know, this is not my job.
So what is stopping you from, and again, because I don't know the situation, I don't know how it works, what does it cost to get a license to practice in New York, in Miami, in Las Vegas? I mean,
Honestly, I mean, it's just
Have you looked
a
into that,
nursing
or-
license. It's just a license that you have to renew every year, like what I do in Connecticut. Like
So
every
when
year,
you
I have to
renew,
pay
you
$110
okay,
to keep my license. All I have to do is get my license in other states.
so why not do that? I mean, you could take off with that. I mean, you can literally go on vacation to
Travel.
Vegas for a week and say,
Yeah, I could. You're right.
you
But
know what? I have my company.
I got kids.
Yes.
This is just like I'm like 1 in a million person type of
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? Like I have to start out small, and I'm hoping to grow. I'm hoping, you know, maybe I can go to other states and grow my business. And also, mind you, I just want to make everyone else aware that I do have a doctor that works for me. He is my medical director.
Mm-hmm.
I hired him. I have a medical director. I have an actual physical doctor. I have to have a physical doctor in Connecticut. So I do own my own business. I do own this company, but I do have a professional doctor that I do pay and that does work for me. So I can always consult him. I always have another person that's higher up than me to consult with in regards to doing
by the
this.
way, most of the time I've seen nurses at the hospital that the doctors give their opinion and nurses
Yeah,
are right.
nurses are usually always
but
right.
that's fine. Like Stacey had said.
No offense to all the doctors out there.
Like Stacey had said, you want to start small. I started small with my podcast. I have almost 3,000 listeners in 2 months. Per Tara, I have 6 listeners in India, which is very cool. But yeah, this has been pretty cool. I mean, we learned a lot about what Stacey does, and you know, where she's at and where she wants to go, and you know, we're gonna kind of, you know, we're gonna reconnect with Stacey in a couple months when she gives me an IV. But again, as always, this has been JD Lewis with Untamed Conversations, and you know, I appreciate everybody listening. Thanks. Ever feel run down, get bad migraines, or get sick often? Maybe you drank too much the night before and can't get out of bed. Want to add some extra vitamins into your life to help your skin and metabolism? Well, I know exactly how to fix that. Get Your Drip On is a mobile IV clinic run by a registered nurse in New Haven, Connecticut area. She will come to your house and literally hook you up. Talk about convenience. She will hook you up with the fluids you need to give yourself that extra kick. Get Your Drip On offers IV fluid bags of immunity boosting, energy, weight loss, hangover cure, skin repair, performance, and recovery. Call Get Your Drip On at 475-209-3409 or message on Instagram at Get Your Drip On to book an appointment now.